When it comes to buying the right model, there's so many factors to consider, and that's why today we picked and reviewed the best models for you and ranked them by price, quality, performance, and more. You can check their prices and find out more information by using the links in the description down below. Now, let's go straight to the list.
Today, we will be taking a look at the 5 MMO mouse to buy today. Number 5, Swiftpoint Z Gaming Mouse. The Swiftpoint Z Gaming Mouse is a unique piece. It's a high-end gaming mouse with 15 programmable buttons, but also with buttons with pressure sensors, tilt and roll features, as well as analog joystick controls. Yes, it looks weird, but in practice, this is an excellent gaming mouse. The buttons are placed all over the body of the mouse and are easy to reach. When used like a normal MMO or gaming mouse, the Swiftpoint Z performs excellent and is suited for every game, since you can just ignore the buttons you don't need when playing shooters or action adventures. The build quality is excellent. The mouse feels rugged, with only some buttons feeling a bit unstable, but that's because they can be pushed or pulled and replaced with smaller buttons. Aside from these triggers, the mouse offers a tilt option since it features a gyroscope. This feature is finicky because you can easily activate it while just sliding the mouse, which isn't great. Also, the mouse features replaceable buttons, but they aren't easy to swap. The Swiftpoint Z also has a tiny OLED screen on the side, but it's just another gimmick you won't use. As for the base hardware, the mouse uses a 12,000 DPI sensor that's great for any game. The button layout is nicely designed, and although it needs some time to get used to it, the learning curve isn't too steep. But the price and the extra features such as tilt that aren't really usable are the main shortcomings of this mouse. If it came out just with extra buttons and without those weird triggers in the tilt function, this would be an excellent MMO mouse that would also sell for less. Number 4, SteelSeries Rival 500. SteelSeries decided to create an MMO mouse with an original design. Instead of placing an array with a dozen or so buttons on the left side panel of the mouse, the company strategically placed a bunch of buttons all over the body of the mouse, and the end result is surprisingly good. The build quality is excellent. The plastic feels nice, the mouse is sturdy and won't creak or whine when squeezed, and the mouse feels sturdy. The only downside is that the rubber used on the sides of the mouse feels sticky, and the adhesive used can melt during hot days. This is a known issue with many SteelSeries mice, so be ready for the rubber side grips to start slipping as soon as the summer comes. On the flip side, ergonomics and button placement are excellent. It was a risk keeping this design that's quite different from other MMO mouse, but the risk paid out. The mouse is very comfortable to use, and each button is easily reachable no matter the size of your hands. This is also great because you don't always have a huge button array on the side. When not playing an MMO game, you can just ignore most of the buttons and only use those you need. The only issue with this design is that memorizing all those buttons placed all over the body of the mouse takes some time. But once you learn the button placement, the mouse becomes a joy to use. The Rival 500 is great for most games, but it's a bit too heavy for competitive shooters. If you still plan on playing FPS games with it, don't worry about the sensor being precise enough, since the Rival 500 uses a 16,000 DPU sensor with 1000 Hz polling rate. Overall, this mouse is a great MMO mouse. Just remember that the button placement needs some time to get used to, and the rubber used on the side grips uses a cheap adhesive that will melt come hot days. Number 3, Logitech G604 Lightspeed. The G604 Lightspeed from Logitech is the best wireless MMO mouse you can find. First of all, the mouse looks nice. It features a futuristic design reminiscent of some other Logitech mice, such as the G502. Build quality is excellent. The mouse won't creak or whine, and the plastic used is top-notch. On top of it all, everything feels excellently built and rather sturdy. The main feature of this mouse is a side panel button array that includes 6 buttons in total. While the mouse works perfectly for MMO, MOBA, and other slower-paced games, it's pretty heavy and isn't the best for shooters. As is the case with other mice on this list, the side buttons can be assigned any role. They can also be assigned macros if you want, and also be used in programs and apps that can benefit from various shortcuts and macros. The mouse features a scroll wheel made of metal that has 2 scroll modes, a regular mode and an infinite mode, where the scroll wheel turns until you manually stop it, like the MX Master Mice. When it comes to the sensor, it's a Hero sensor from Logitech that features a sensitivity of 16,000 dpi and 1000 Hz pooling rate. It also features both USB dongle and Bluetooth connectivity and can be paired with multiple devices at the same time. When it comes to performance, the mouse works perfectly when connected via USB dongle. Over Bluetooth, the connection is stable, but the lag can be noticed during gaming sessions. The mouse uses one AA battery that can last for 240 hours of usage. Both the battery and the USB dongle are stored inside a compartment that is sealed with magnets, so opening it is easy while the lid is stable when using the mouse. While not featuring a swappable side panel or movable button array, the G604 Lightspeed is an excellent MMO mouse. Fewer side buttons make them easier to memorize and press. Wireless performance is spotless. The design is excellent and ergonomics are superb, and the overall quality of the G604 Lightspeed is near perfect. Number 2. Corsair Scimitar RGB Elite. If you aren't interested in hot swapping the side panel when not playing an MMO or a MOBA title, and if you're spending most of your time playing these two video game genres, then take a look at the Corsair Scimitar RGB Elite. While it doesn't feature a swappable side panel, it offers superb ergonomics and top-notch hardware. Its side button arrangement cannot be swapped with a regular 2-key button design, but it can be moved back and forth until you find the perfect position where each of the 12 buttons is easily reachable. That could be really helpful for hardcore MMO gamers, since all 12 buttons should be easily reached at all times. On top of that, the mouse features an ergonomic design and medium size, so it's extremely comfortable to use by both users with small and large hands. Its sensor has 18,000 dpi resolution, and you can change the sensitivity in 1 DPU steps, which is pretty cool and can actually be helpful for some users. And while the overall build quality is superb, no cracks or squeals when squeezing the mouse, the rubber used for the finger rest looks flimsy and not of the same quality as the rest of the mouse. Overall, this is an excellent MMO mouse, but for people who don't play MMO or MOBA games often, there are better choices out there. Number 1. Razer Naga Trinity. For years, MMO mice had one major issue. The huge array of buttons on them was great when you needed like a dozen easily reachable keys for various actions, but when playing other games or using the mouse for browsing the web or any other work-related task, that huge collection of buttons was a nuisance if nothing else. Well, the Razer Naga Trinity fixed that issue, making the mouse the best MMO gaming mouse you can buy right now, and when you compare the price to its main rivals, this is also the best budget MMO mouse on the market right now. At its default design, you get the classic Razer Naga looks, a long and wide body featuring 12 buttons placed on the left side of the mouse. But this mouse comes with 3 hot swappable thumb panels, allowing this mouse to be much more than an MMO mouse. The second panel features 7 buttons arranged in a circular layout, and the third panel features 2 classic back and forward buttons. And swapping different panels works painlessly, and it's very fast. You can use the classic layout and then exit WOW, swap the panel, and use the mouse for playing FPS games, where the back and forward buttons are perfect for using them to throw grenades and melee attacking enemies. And this mouse works perfectly with any games thanks to its 16,000 DPI sensor combined with an ultra-responsive button and excellent scroll wheel. The mouse is a wired model, and since it's pretty large, it won't be the best choice for users with smaller hands. It also includes RGB backlighting for side buttons and scroll wheel, and sells for a competitive price. Overall, this is the best MMO mouse you can get right now. A bonus option, the Razer Basilisk Ultimate Hyperspeed. The Razer Basilisk Ultimate Wireless is one of the best gaming mice on the market. This mouse has it all, and thanks to its 11 programmable buttons, it can be used as an MMO and MOBA mouse. First of all, the build quality and design are great, as you would expect from a mouse this expensive. On top of that, buttons also feel great and responsive, and the mouse fits great into almost any hand. The 11 programmable buttons can replace a classic MMO mouse button array, but they aren't as good as having 11 main buttons along with 6 or 7 classic buttons on a mouse. But if you aren't a hardcore MMO player and play other games more than MMOs and MOBAs, this mouse is a superb choice. The button placement is excellent. Each button is easy to reach, and the mouse is extremely comfortable to use, thanks to its tried and true ergonomic design. The hardware used is perfect. Button switches are extremely responsive and long-lasting, and the 20,000 DPI sensor is the best on the market. You won't find a better sensor out there. The wireless performance is perfect, and the mouse can be charged either via cable or via a provided dock. The battery can last up to 100 hours on one charge. All these features make the Razer Basilisk Ultimate one of the best gaming mice. It's not perfect for MMOs, but it can work with them quite alright. If it were only a bit cheaper, this mouse would be the default recommendation.
You can check out the prices of all the products mentioned on this list in the description below. Thanks for watching today's video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button for more content like this.